I'd say it was pretty much like the last offseason I had coming up to my third year. What was different, we have new coach, we had new defense and stuff, so I had to spend a couple more hours this offseason kind of reviewing the playbook because it's not something that, I just already knew from the previous years. But for the most part, I went out to Colorado to train for a month and a half, came back for phase 2 and 3 of OTAs and rookie or whatever, the veteran mini camp. Then after we broke for that month, we went to see my family for a week and then was basically in Atlanta training, getting ready for the season, kind of doing the drills that I know get me ready and watching film on dudes who I think are good players and seeing what I can implement to my game and just, making sure my confidence is up, ready for preseason, ready for the season to start. So within the defense, we kind of play a little differently than the previous coaches would want us. Like last year, that cover 3 scheme was a lot more lateral playing for linebackers. Now we have to play a lot more downhill to start. So kind of getting off the spot is what my coach said that would kind of affect my game positively. And some guys naturally do that well already, but I was taught to play linebacker more lateral. And then so now I have to learn how to attack the linemen before they can turn and run upfield on me. Really kind of shoot my shots when I know they're coming. I don't think I was thinking NFL because at the time I kind of went to Yale. I like basketball actually first, then NBA. I realized I'm gonna make it to the NBA. 6'1", kind of small forward type. I wasn't a point guard, so making the NBA would have been slim chances. So I chose to play football in college. Chose Yale because obviously best academics, and then chose football, best connections. You get to lift, you get to eat, you get to, kind of look how I want to. Wait until after freshman year where I played well. I was put on FCS freshman All-American team that coach was like, oh, you know what? You keep improving. And I was playing cornerback at the time too. He said, you keep improving, we're going to move you to safety. You have a chance to make it in the league. And then really I got hurt my junior year, 2015 maybe. Yeah, 2015 season. Got hurt. That's when Zeke got drafted 4th. And I kind of got to see him get drafted. And that's why I was just coming back from my injury in the spring. And I said, you know what? I got 2 more years. I got a redshirt year. I got 2 more years to make it happen. If he can get drafted, first round, 4th, there's no doubt I can get drafted somewhere in that, those rounds. So that was kind of my motivation there. And then we got to obviously play against each other a couple of times now. We're going to play against each other again this year. It's always a fun game for us. So very high competitors and want the best for each other. I got hurt actually. We were winning, then we lost in horrific fashion, which became a theme that year. But I got hurt after the first quarter. But I played a pretty good first quarter, forced some fumbles, got some tackles. I was pretty happy. And then, I think I was just riding too high, too hype. I caught a cramp, which turned into a hamstring strain. So I was out a week after that. But I would have liked to play the whole game for sure. But it was a good quarter I had, but I'm trying to be able to play a whole game against him. I already came into it. Now, it's the first time I ever had to experience a coaching change within the team I was there. Usually it's like, you go to college, you go to, from high school to college to NFL, new coaches. It's never been something where I'm on the team. I've seen the old coaches, the new coaches come in. That hasn't ever happened for me. So it was new, it was interesting. I wouldn't say I was expecting the worst or anything, just like in terms of how bad it could be, but I was ready for anything really. So I think a lot of our dudes, a lot of changes happen, and we're going to look at them right now as necessary changes, and we've taken them head on. And I think we're all, on one page right now, and we're working very hard. And I like how we're looking right now. I think we've ran a lot. We've lifted a lot. We've practiced pretty hard. So going into the year, I think that could give us confidence in terms of the work we put in for the offseason. So I wanted to be a business guy since I was little. And so I studied economics at Yale just because I didn't have like a finance degree. But I was pretty good at that. I don't think I want to take economics anywhere because I want to be a teacher or world economics guy. It's too boring. But I did take a lot of internships as like wealth management, finance type guy. So I don't think I wanted to get into investment banking either. That's very stressful. But in terms of, understanding how to invest and where to put your money when you get it. And a lot of my friends have gone into even real estate with that. So they'll see developing areas and say, oh, you should put your money into this area, that area. And then they're kind of booming in that aspect. But now that I've been playing sports, I definitely want to keep it. The longer I stay in sports, I kind of want to keep that talent that I have with numbers and analyzing in sports, whether that's a sports analyst or, maybe something on the financial side of the team. I think that would be great for me. So whenever I can somehow wheel back into that, whenever it's time, I think that's an avenue that I could go down. I'm a loner naturally. I'm kind of an introvert, so I could sit by myself and just let my mind take me places that that helps me relax. But I like hanging out with my friends. I just came from bowling with a couple of my friends, so I like other sports. We're trying to get better at golf. I got a good swing because I play baseball and stuff, but getting on the course is obviously a lot different than driving ranges and top golf. So activities like that, and then I obviously go see my ex teammates from Yale and whatever cities they live in. I like going and seeing how they're living in the different. So I was just in the West Coast earlier this off season. That was pretty cool. I never been out in LA and stuff. And then on top of that, I like to read. I like to really use my influence on kids that I think need it. So a lot of times I'll end up reading to children or schools, or go talk to them and kind of give my story to them. And hopefully they can, hopefully one person in that group minimum can, look at that and say, if he can do it, I can do it. Kind of like the same outlook I had on life when people came and talked to us. So hopefully my story reaches those kids and it helps them out. I grew up like that. My parents didn't really settle for average, no matter what it was. So if I said I wanted to do it, it could be an art drawing. I remember in third grade, I brought some art. Now, I didn't really care about art, but I could draw pretty well sometimes. And so my dad saw how my potential in drawing. I brought some shabby work one time. He said, "It's not good." I said, "Well, it didn't matter. I got whatever grade it was. He said, it's not good. You can do better." So no matter what I'm in, and my parents didn't even believe I was going to make it to, or my dad didn't believe I was going to make it to NFL halfway through college, because he wasn't hearing the talks that I was hearing from, coaches and scouts. I didn't really tell him about that because all he cared about was the academics. But whatever I was going to be in, basketball, baseball, football, he wanted me to be the best. So my brother got the same kind of treatment. So he went to, he's in University of Chicago Business School. Now he's doing really well in the finance route. I chose to do football. So once I chose that, they said, you know what, you're not going there to be average. You're going there to, be the best you can be. And so as soon as I stepped foot down, I started competing. I'm a very big competitor. I see, if I get better, I can make this jump. If I get better, I can make that jump. There's no point going through life for, some people like chilling through life. I like being the best version of me possible. And that's just kind of the mindset I've always had. Big multi-sport. I know if my kids like sports, they're playing everything, and they're going to be not pushed, but like motivated to be the best at whatever they're playing. So I started off with soccer. That was my big sport. We traveled around the country, playing the best teams in the country. I thought I was going to go to college for soccer in middle school, and then I got tired of it. But I think it's just helped me so much with footwork. It's like I got big, clunky feet, and then I move them well. People don't know how. It's like, well, when you have to dribble a ball and kick, like your feet get really wet, really good. And then baseball, I think, teaches you, hand-eye coordination, whether it's picking up a ground ball or short hop or something like that, or just swinging the bat. So quick hands that way. And then basketball, obviously, you have to be a fluid athlete out there. That's what I think is so impressive about basketball players. They're not very strong or explosive per se. Some are, but like you put that basketball in the hands, they look just something else. So I think being able to grab different skills from different sports is very important. And then it kind of also helps with injury prevention, because you're not only training one movement your whole life. And then when you want to specialize, you might be a little bit later in the game. Like, let's say I'm a recruit and I just started specializing, let's say basketball, because that's the big one to specialize in. I might not be a top 50 recruit at first, but by senior year, if I put that work in, I'm a better athlete than everybody. I guarantee you'll be top 50. Like Donovan Mitchell, you know what I'm saying? Now look at him balling. So I think, being well-rounded is very important in the development of a kid. I think that's something I'll try to put on my children if they are willing to do that. But I think that's the key for sure. I think biggest advice I get is just listen. My parents were very strict for sure, but sometimes you're getting told not to listen to authorities, think for yourself, all that. But there's definitely answers to the test out there. So I do think it's important that you become your own individual person. But when people have, whatever your idea of success is, you've seen people be successful. I think you should try to follow that, not to a regimen, but kind of have that as your template. So I was where I would have went to school, public school, was unaccredited at one point, which means basically wasn't counted. So I was fortunate enough to go out to the private school across town. I just saw how they were living. So my dad had always told me, if you want that, you have to be smart. Like, they're hardworking people in order to get into that situation. So whether it was school or sports, obviously I was taught academics was going to be the key to get me out into wherever I wanted to be. I would be doing my parents a disservice, who came all the way over from Nigeria and gave us the best life possible that they could, and give me in that situation to not try my hardest and be the best student that I could be, or be a sucky student. So I wouldn't say I was the best student, but I definitely knew what it took to get the grades, to get the test scores right. And then I kind of just always took that competitive spirit I had in anything I did, trying to be the best that way. So really, I think the best advice I get or I would give to people is just listen to people who are trying to help you. If they have done something that you admire, or something that you like, all right, they did well, I think that they're giving the answers to the test. It's on you to really go down the right path. I just saw how passionate he was about his job, and then he wasn't ever. I wouldn't never say he didn't yell and stuff, but just the way he went about it, like man to man, was very respectful to everybody. He would obviously get on us and stuff, but it was whenever he got on you, and he wouldn't speak negatively to you, even though he held higher power than you. So it always made you want to play for him, because it felt like he had your back, and really felt like he brought you into that situation, or brought you to the team in order to succeed. So I really liked that about him. And then just seeing his work and his passion for the game, was like, you don't ever want to fail with somebody like that. So it's something I took, and I always respect him, and I always appreciate him for bringing me to the Falcons. I like that dude. Like, he knows that though, but I have a lot of respect for him. So we went back when I was really young. I was 2 and my brother was 4, and apparently it was a great time. I don't really remember it, but my parents have been back each a couple times on their own. My mom on her own, dad on her own, seeing their sides of the family. But it's pretty difficult to get the whole, especially when we were so busy in the summers and school year and stuff. And then we didn't really have the money either to bring the whole family back in order to go and visit. But we've been talking about that recently, and that's something that will definitely get done. I just got the passport because of the London game. So now it's like really no excuse. As soon as, we feel like it's fit or safe or whatever to go back over there, I think we'll get that done. I don't really talk like outwardly about, goals for the season. I think Giannis put that really well the other day. You talk about the future. That's what your pride. You talk about the past. That's your ego. I think that was something I'm like, oh, me and that boy could be friends. I think that's something that I really understand. So internally, I'm definitely motivated. I have my goals, but it's not something I'm out here trying to boast about or predict things that I'm going to do. Definitely going to try and cause turnovers. Definitely going to try and make as many tackles, win as many games. That's something I'm always trying to do week in, week out. So focus on the present, and that stuff will happen. Messages. I feel like I've said all messages I usually relay when people ask me throughout this interview. One message that is funny, because I'm actually I saw him, I was wearing the hat, the Team Ugly Gang thing. It's my little brand. And people always ask me like why I call myself ugly or whatever. Well, it's a long, funny story about being called ugly when I was a couple years into college. And we kind of took it as a joke, me and my boys, and ran with it. But one thing that does resonate is the story of the ugly duckling, which I feel like I've embodied kind of my whole life. And that's kind of what I put onto the brand. That's kind of what I put onto my shirts and stuff, is the ugly duckling. And it's just really because it don't really matter like if you fit in and didn't fit in. You know, the ugly duckling didn't fit into a lot of places. You might find yourself in a lot of scenarios where you're not, you know, feeling comfortable because other people, you didn't grow up like a lot of people. You didn't come from the same background as them. You might look a little different than them. But at the end of the day, like there's a lot of pride inside you. You got that, he turned into a swan. So I say there's a swan in all of us. If you're beautiful on the inside, if you got something that's going to let you shine, like just be confident in yourself and then be yourself and let that thing shine. And then eventually people are going to like you for that. So that's really the whole message behind the Team Ugly game that I feel like would be cool if people knew. So I just like, I'm confident in whoever I show up as, whoever I am, I'm going to come and be me. And then it's up to you to like it or not, because I think it's a great thing.